EDP445 is a YouTuber that really needs no introduction. I'm sure everyone watching this is familiar with who he is, or at the very least, if they're not familiar with him by name, they're familiar with all the memes of him that have been shared around social media to hell and back. Well, EDP is now in a world of trouble because now it is proven without a shadow of a doubt that this dude is a predator. This has already been somewhat of an open secret because screenshots have circulated in the past of him, a grown-ass man, trying to solicit sex from a 17-year-old, and people excuse this. People were like, well, the age of consent in various states in this country is 17, so technically EDP isn't really doing anything wrong here. He's still a good guy. And then screenshots of him being inappropriate with a 15-year-old in DMs started circulating around, and things just got more yikes from there. EDP actually excused this by saying, well, she had big tits. If she didn't have big tits, then I wouldn't be creeping on her, nor would any other predator be creeping on her. Yes, because this girl's physical appearance makes it okay for her to be open season for any online predator like you to be creeping on her. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And of course, his fan base were eating that up, and they're like, yeah, you tell him, EDP, you keep creeping on 15-year-olds. Like, what the fuck is your excuse there? You can't say the age of consent anywhere in this country is 15 because it isn't, unless you want to bring up places like Japan where the age of consent is 13 and try to say, well, there are places in this world where a grown ass man creeping on a 15-year-old is okay. Shut the fuck up, okay? I don't give a shit about any law here or anywhere else. If a grown man is creeping on a minor, then they are a complete and utter piece of shit in my eyes. Because this should be simple, basic morality. I don't give a fuck what any law has to say about it, because my moral compass doesn't just solely revolve around what is illegal and legal, and neither should yours, but I digress. He got away basically scot-free all those other times, but now EDP's reputation is absolutely done for, because it has been exposed that EDP planned on meeting up with someone who he thought was a 13-year-old girl for, take a wild guess, sex. This actually was not a 13-year-old girl. It was a group of amateur predator hunters who duped EDP into thinking he was talking to a 13-year-old girl. And oh boy, they already leaked some screenshots of DMs they exchanged with EDP, and it was pretty fucking horrible. Like, for example, he was showing this supposed 13-year-old girl pictures of his fleshlight telling her he was jacking off, and I am sure a whole bunch of other things that we have not seen yet that are disgusting and things that a grown man should absolutely not be talking to a minor about. And yet, even still, despite all of this, I see some people saying, well, EDP has made funny videos that have made me laugh, so that enough is alone for me to look past all of this and still support him. Like, are you fucking insane? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, this guy makes funny videos talking about clogging up Taco Bell toilets or whatever the fuck else he talks about in this lowest common denominator trash content. So that means I can just overlook him being a sexual predator totally. But this proves something that I've been thinking about for a while now. One of the best things about the internet is also one of the worst things about the internet. Anyone can grow a large platform and make a name for themselves these days. Of course, I'm grossly oversimplifying it, but theoretically, any average Joe Schmo now has a shot of being someone who is well known. And it has been proven that time and time and time again that so many of these people who are fortunate enough to make it big online are actually really horrible people, like they're sexual predators, sexual abusers, or anything else really horrible. My problem here is the internet has allowed parasocial relationships to get 100 times worse, and I perfectly understand, even prior to the internet's inception, celebrities have been outed as predators, and even prior to the internet's inception, people have been obsessed with certain celebrities, but have we really seen it to this scale? The internet can now allow us to see into the day-to-day lives of various celebrities, whereas prior, you only saw them in movies or whenever they release a new album and in interviews, but now we have social media, and this invariably leads to people forming parasocial relationships with their favorite celebrities because now they feel some sort of special connection, some sort of special bond, even though they're only seeing bits of a celebrity's life that the celebrity chooses to put online. And now that essentially everyone who has never had a shot of making it big mainstream now has a shot of making it big online, they can also garner these sorts of fans, and it has been proven time and time again that these sorts of people take advantage of having these sorts of fans in the worst way possible, because a lot of the times these internet celebrities, if you want to call them celebrities, start off making videos for fun or making any sort of content for fun and just want to share it with some people, but then they end up garnering a large fan base and they never expected garnering said large fan base, and they start taking advantage of said large fan base in the worst way possible because they were never properly equipped with having such a large following because they never expected it. Unexpected success can get to one's head rather quickly, and now that fan interaction is so much easier than it was prior to the internet age, we see so many of these stories pop up. It's like every fucking week another big story arises of another popular internet figure being a predator, trying to collect inappropriate images and videos from their underage fans. And of course, these underage fans comply because they're so starstruck that they're talking to their favorite YouTuber, a favorite TikToker, or a favorite whoever else on whatever other form of social media. Famous people now hold so much more power than they did prior to the internet's existence, and now that so many people feel like they have some sort of special bond and connection to their favorite content creator because they follow them on various forms of social media and feel like they know the ins and outs of that person's life, even though they're only simply seeing bits and pieces of whatever that person chooses to share of their life, they still feel like they have a connection to that person. They still feel like they know that person. And whenever something like this comes out about that person, they just cannot accept it because they feel like they know that person. They feel like they know that that person really is a good person, and they just can't accept the reality that they did something horrible, like being a predator. And you're seeing exactly that with a lot of EDP's fans. I get it, most of his fan base now know he's a piece of shit and they're not supporting him anymore, but you still see a certain sector of his fan base still stand behind him and say, no, EDP is a good guy, I stand with EDP, all of this is wrong somehow, even though there's literally video of him confirming all of this with the people who caught him red-handed, but still, they choose to deny reality, and I'm just here to say it. Your favorite YouTuber is not a good person. In fact, quite the opposite. EDP is a god-awful piece of shit human being. The guy was threatening to harm a 15-year-old if they were to ever come out and say, yes, EDP was being creepy with me, and yet you people still stand behind him even after that. So, of course, all of this coming out is not going to change you in any sort of way. You're still going to deny reality, but I am just happy that EDP is finally getting his just desserts. He is a god-awful human being, like I already made clear. Deal with it, you EDP fan fucks. Being a fan of someone's quote-unquote funny content online does not exempt them from being called out for disgusting behavior, and absolutely does not excuse them from said disgusting behavior. Please learn this, and also please, get a better taste in content, because EDP's content was fucking god awful that I never understood how it even got popular in the first place. But that's completely irrelevant to everything else I'm talking about here, but I just really needed to make that clear. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.